Hi everyone, I am Anna and I am here at the East Hampton Library today, and I want to do another art project with you. What I have prepared for today is a leaf printing project. So for this, I will first tell you the supplies that you're going to need. We will start with leaves. So I went outside in my yard and I collected 3 different types of leaves. The thing you want to look for on the leaves, hold this up to the camera, is to make sure that they're very veiny and that the veins are kind of thick through the back. And then once you bring them in the house, you want to put them somewhere flat. If you gather up leaves and then wait a couple of days to do this project, your leaves are either going to curl or crumble, so you want to get them flat right away. The next thing you will need is a piece of paper. Now I have a very large sketch pad with white paper on it, but most of you probably have in your house just plain printer copy paper, which is fine. The next thing you will need is paint to paint on the leaves. And today I picked a paint that, again, I think most of you will have in your home. That's just the Crayola washable paint. And you can use whatever colors you want. I did a combination of red, orange, yellow, and green are the choices I made. Then you will need water jar to put water in, add the water, and a paintbrush. And which I do sometimes forget, I think I forgot last time, is to make sure you have a cloth to cover your table, and then also some napkins to clean and wipe your brush off on. So since we're doing this at home, I am going to use the same paper I think you guys have, so I'll use a copy paper. So my brush is already wet. I've got some leaves here, my paper, and my paper towel, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the green paint. So since I can clean my brush easily with the water I do have here, I am just dipping right into the jar of paint. At home, you may want to be a little more strict about this and put your paint on a palette of some sort. So when you are painting your leaf, you want to get a very, very good coverage. So you want to make sure you cover the leaf in its entirety, but you want it to be a thin layer so that your veins show up. So this is not something you want to use globs and globs of paint on. Even though I'm re-dipping it several times here just to make sure I'm getting good coverage, I am spreading that paint out as thin as I can get it to go while still having it covered. You also may want to try holding the leaf still, like I've got my forefinger right at the base of the stem here, because otherwise you're chasing the leaf a little bit across the table. Okay, so if you look closely at mine here, you can see it's pretty well covered. I've got some lines right here where my paint is a little bit thick. So I'm going to go ahead and try and smooth those out. And then over here, if you look, I've got some parts of the leaf that, where are we at? Right here, that aren't quite covered yet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish those up and cover those. Paintbrush goes in a glass of water. And then I will bring over my piece of paper. Paint side down. So everything I just painted, I'm going to put down on this piece of paper. And then I'm just going to very gently smooth it out. Now, because I chased my leaf across the paper a little bit, some of the paint got on the back side of the leaf, so you can see as I'm spreading this out, there's paint coming out on the sides, like right there, which is okay. It's just kind of gives it a little bit of a shadow effect. But you want to run your hand over a few times, make it nice and flat, make sure there are no wrinkles in it, make sure every little vein gets pressed down. Lift your leaf up, and here we have actually a very beautiful print for you guys to look at. So that is my green one. So next I'm going to pick a different leaf. I'm going to do this one here. So when you're picking your leaf, you're going to have one side that's very flat. You can see the veins through it, but you can't really feel them. So I'm going to make sure my paint goes on the side where I can feel the veins. So I did that actually backwards. I can't feel them on this side, but I can see them. This side, I can actually feel them. So that is the side my paint's going to go on. So we're going to get as much of the green as we can out of my brush. I'm not too worried about changing my water and keeping it clean. It's got a little green to it, tint to it. And the main reason for that is, as you're doing this fall leaf project, we're going to switch to, let's do yellow this time. What's going to happen is a little bit of the green that's left in my brush, or the green tint of the water that I pick up in the yellow, is just going to blend with it. And from my perspective, that's okay. It doesn't have to be super neat. And I was saying my water is a little bit tinted green, so my yellow and green would have blended, but I'm not sure now because it's a little dry. I'm not sure what it's going to do, but we will see here. The yellow seems to be a little bit thinner consistency-wise than the green paint I used earlier. I go over it carefully, move it back here where you guys can see a little bit. Get all those lines out of there, but making sure all the veins are covered. And then here is paper I was working on, so I'm just going to push it paint side down, flat, and then yeah, see, that could happen when you have a leaf that you've had for a while. So if that happens, I guess I'm done with that one. Let's see what kind of a print. That leaf bit the dust, but we still got a little bit of our print out of it. So let's move on to the next one. If you look at my original sheet, which is this one here, you can see that I've used these leaves many, many times. So the fact that that one tore, that probably won't happen with the leaves you use. It only happened to me because I'm using the same leaves over and over again. So, okay, so I've got this one now. This is the veiny side. This is where I'm going to put the paint. And let's go ahead and do some orange. So I probably need to be pretty gentle with my leaves here since they have been being pressed for a while. Okay, so we've got a coat of orange on that one. So we're going to find, you know what, instead of finding a white spot, I'm just going to go right on top of my green there, if you guys can see. So I'm going to print, that green paint has dried because I had a little bit of a break. So we're going to kind of show you guys how you can do double a print on a print. So it looks a little more like leaves do when they're actually falling on the ground. So this is the one I used with green earlier. I'm going to go do it again. So I am using the same leaves over and over again. You can use as many different types of leaves, as many different times as you want. But this one has turned out to make some really, really good impressions. So just to reiterate, when you're going out to look for your leaves, you want to make sure that you are selecting leaves that are pretty veiny, have a good texture to them on the underneath side. So smooth out, get some of that excess paint off of there, make sure everything's covered. And then we're going to go back over here. We're going to kind of go to the bottom, so it's overlapping just a little bit with my others, but a good portion of it's on the white too. Try to be a little more gentle this time so I don't tear it. But just from, I'm smoothing it from the bottom up and from the middle out, that way I can get all of the wrinkles out of it. And we will lift it up. If you look, that one looks almost a little more brown because we had green already on that leaf, even though it was dried, and then we add yellow on top of it. I'm sorry, orange on top of it, so we get a little bit of a brown color. That turned out pretty neat. Okay, so that is your art project for today, printed leaves. Thank you guys for watching my video and hanging in there with me, and I will see you again soon.